and we will have him back with us during the offering time. So now let's just take a breath together as we just move into this part of our service. It's unbelievable that this is the last day of the first month of 2021, that this month has gone already. So we're January 31st, the last day of the month. And we are talking this year, our theme the entire year is Dare to Believe. Dare to believe. And we've moved through this first 3-4 weeks of this month, daring to believe, and we will continue with that. Our theme for the month of January has been release, recapture, reclaim. And in the release portion, we were talking about surrender, which is what Harold was singing about today. And we're always surrendering, we're always releasing and letting go of those things that don't serve us. And then the second component of that was recapture, recovering that which is a prize. Retaking a prize is what recapturing is all about. And what we learn as we go through this process is the prize is you. The prize is you. And that's something I want all of us to really think. The prize is really you, recapturing yourself, recapturing you as the prize, and recognizing as we go through our lives, when we realize that we are the prize, and we start to view ourselves differently, we start to treat ourselves differently, and we start to treat other people differently. And we also start to teach other people to treat us differently when we recognize that we are the prize. And so the third part of that is reclaiming, restoring something to its natural state. And so what we're talking about now is restoring ourselves to our natural state of wholeness, our natural state of oneness. If there's anything that's knocked us off our center, if there's anything that's made us move away from our natural state, or somehow feel that it's covered up in any way, when we reclaim, we're restoring ourselves to our natural state, in discovering who we are, and allowing our authentic being to come forth, our authentic being, that authentic me, that authentic you, to come forth now as we go through this process of reclaiming. And so today we're talking about acceptance. And acceptance comes up because acceptance is one of the components of belief. Ernest Holmes says that the physical universe is built out of belief, faith, conviction, belief, and acceptance. Faith, conviction, belief, and acceptance. Acceptance is a part of the whole process of belief. And so today we're just talking about simple acceptance. Simple acceptance. Acceptance from the viewpoint of accepting things as they are, being right here, right now, and accepting things as they are, accepting yourself as you are, accepting life as it is, just being in a place of acceptance, not longing for the past, not trying to move forward and jump over this time and move forward into the future, but just being in a place of acceptance, a place of agreement, a place of availability, a place of openness. That's what acceptance is all about. And I'm also talking about acceptance today from a place of knowing, a place of knowing what you know, knowing what we know, and just being in that place of accepting that we know what we know. We talked a few weeks ago about clarifying your beliefs. And I hope that you took the time, that some of you anyway, took the time to really clarify your beliefs, really get clear about what it is you believe, what it is you believe about God, what it is you believe about yourself, what it is you believe about life, any of those things, what it is you really believe, and then being in a place of acceptance of your beliefs, being in a place of just accepting your beliefs. So today we're looking at simple acceptance, just opening up and being in a place of peace, in a place of harmony, in a place of balance, in a place of joy, in a place of pure spirit, because that's what acceptance is all about, because we aren't fighting against anything. We aren't railing against anything. We're just being. And that's what acceptance is all about. So I'd like you to just really be in that place of being. Be in that place of being. Take a breath and be in that place of being, And so there are three things that I'd like you to just really consider today as we move through this idea of acceptance, as we really consider acceptance, simple acceptance. And simple means, easy. It means basic. It means not complicated, because this is not a complicated process. Being in a place of acceptance is not a complicated process. It may feel complicated. It may feel hard sometimes to accept what is. It may feel hard. However, it is not. It's a simple process, just being in a place of letting go, because acceptance is also kind of like surrender. It's a place of just letting go, just a place of just letting go. So what I'd like you to do, starting out today, and since we are still at the beginning of the year, I'd like you to choose one thing, one quality, one spiritual quality that you would like to experience this year, throughout this year, in your life this year. What is a spiritual quality? What quality of God? That's what spiritual qualities are. What quality would you like to experience in your life this year, throughout the year? And then, as we experience it throughout the year, we experience it throughout our lives, because it's not something that's just going to go away. But what quality would you like? Would it be love? Would it be peace? Would it be joy, harmony, balance, acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, abundance, prosperity, light? All of these are qualities of God. What quality would you like to experience throughout this year, throughout your life, in every aspect of your life? And as you choose that, whatever that quality is, just a one-word quality, whatever that quality is, that will be your word for the year. That will be your word for the year. Choose a quality that you would like to experience this year. Choose a quality that you would like to begin to experience right now. And then the first thing we're going to do is start to accept that quality into our lives, accept that quality into our experience, accept that quality into our experience. And know this, that once you choose one quality that you would really like to experience, that's where your focus is going to be. That's where your intention is going to be. That's where your attention is going to be throughout the year, So that means you got to really be mindful all year. You got to really be present all year. You got to really be open and available all year and aware. And you got to be in a place of accepting that quality, whatever it is. But be aware, as I started to say, that whatever that quality is, anything unlike it is going to come up. Anything unlike that quality is going to come up. If it's peace that you want, then somebody is going to really tick you off. Something's going to happen that's going to really make you be in a place of not so much peace. If it's love that you want, there's something that's going to really make you step it up. Going to really make you step it up so that you are in a place of loving what is, loving what you see, even though it may not appear to be lovable. And it may be something within ourselves, or it may be something outside, and maybe something in others. But if love is that word for you this year, then you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to really, really experience love, to really accept love, to really get to know love, to really be available to love and to loving, to really get to be in a place of being lovable. Because sometimes that whole love process and that whole lovable thing comes to how we feel about ourselves. And so moving into a place of acceptance of ourselves, but just really looking at what is that quality? What is that quality? If it's forgiveness, believe me, you will have every opportunity to experience forgiveness, to practice forgiveness. If it's compassion, you'll have every opportunity for that. You'll have every opportunity for that. If it's joy, you'd have every opportunity. And so many things come up that we think that we can't experience it. We can't practice whatever that word is, because of something else that's going on, because of some outside influence, because of some condition. And so that takes me to the second point I'd like you to remember today. And after you choose the quality that's going to be your quality, your word for the year, then don't be a conditional liver. Don't be a conditional liver. Don't live according to the conditions. Whatever it is, and I'd like to rephrase that positively. Refrain from conditional living. Refrain from conditional living. conditional living. I can't, I'd love to do this if only Susie would not do that. I could really be at peace if my sister was not always fighting with me. I'd love to, I could be in harmony if my coworkers were acting differently. I could be practicing unconditional love if my mother didn't come to visit me as often as she does. That's what a friend of mine used to say, that whenever she decided that she was going to practice unconditional love, then her mother showed up for a visit. And she had an opportunity to really deepen in her practice of unconditional love. And so what are those conditions outside ourselves that show up when we start to practice whatever that quality is that we have chosen? What conditions show up? What situations show up? We don't have to get caught up in conditions. We don't have to get caught up in conditions, because conditions are going to change always. There's always going to be some condition that's going to interfere with whatever intention it is that we may have set. And so when we can decide that we will not be conditional livers, we will just live in the truth that we know. We will live in the acceptance that we know. We will be knowers of what we know. Then we can walk through our lives. We can walk through our lives. We can walk through our lives experiencing the good that we'd like to experience. We can, despite what may be going on. If joy is the quality that you want to experience right now, sometimes looking outside, it doesn't seem that there are a lot of things to be joyful about. However, there's always something. There's always something. Ernest Holmes defines joy as the emotion excited by the expectancy of good. The emotion excited by the expectancy of good, the expectancy of good. So even with all the things that are going on in the external world, all the things that are going on outside ourselves, we can still experience joy, because we can still live in a place of expectancy. We can still live in a place of expectancy, expecting good to happen, expecting good to show up in our lives, expecting an experience of good from all corners of our lives, places we don't even know. The important thing is for us to be open to it. The important thing is for us to be accepting. The important thing is for us to be in that place of openness and availability, so that we can experience whatever it is, this quality is that we have chosen, whatever it is. Be with that. Be in that. Be aware that this is a quality that I have chosen. This is my word for the year. And as we walk through each day, as we walk through each moment, be aware, be awake, stay awake, and make sure that what I'm thinking, what I'm saying, what I'm doing is consistent with this quality that I want to experience. It's consistent with joy. It is consistent with love. And we have to constantly ask ourselves that question: is this consistent with love? Is this action, is this thought, is this word that I'm speaking consistent with love, consistent with whatever your quality may be? And so I'll tell you guys, my quality this year is order. And so I'm really working with moving through this whole year. And I figure in a year, a full year, I'll be in tune with it. I'm working on it now. I've been really being with it. I have been in a place of acceptance about it for months. And I've really been opening up to it more and more and accepting it more and more. And I'm beginning to see a difference. I'm beginning to feel a difference. And that's what's important for each of us. Decide what it is, and then move into that place of acceptance. And that's the third thing. Lift up your cup of acceptance to whatever it is you want. Lift up your cup of acceptance. And when we lift up our cup of acceptance, it will be filled, as Ernest Holmes says, it will be filled by the universal horn of plenty. When we lift up our cup of acceptance, it will be filled by the universal horn of plenty. And the important thing in lifting up our cup of acceptance, we do it in so many ways. We do it with gratitude, by just being grateful, being thankful, just living in an atmosphere of gratitude, a place of giving thanks always, living in a place of oneness, of unity, of wanting the same thing for others that we want for ourselves. wanting the same thing for others that we want for ourselves. Because when we are in that place of wanting the same for someone else as we want for ourselves, then we're in a place of unity. We're in a place of oneness, because we are recognizing that we are all in this life together. We're all in this life together. And so when we're in that place, we're opening up and accepting the truth that is, that there's only one life, that there's only one power, that there's only one breath, that there's only one activity, that there's only one. And so when I'm thinking of what I want for me and wanting the same thing for you, then I'm thinking about our oneness. I'm thinking about the allness and the fullness of life, and that and the power and the presence of that one power that is right where we are always. Always. So I'm inviting you to lift up the cup of acceptance. Lift up your cup of acceptance and allow it to be filled from the universal horn of plenty with whatever that quality is that you want to experience for this year. Lift up the cup of acceptance to that quality. To that quality. If it's love that you want, lift up your cup of acceptance to love. To love. Ernest Holmes says that our mental acceptance must be filled with color, imagination, warmth, and conviction. Because the creative process, it works more quickly on our feeling than on any other mental attitude. So our mental attitude about acceptance must be filled with color, conviction, warmth, and I forgot the fourth one, color, conviction, warmth, and we move through those feelings. And as we move through those feelings and we begin to really demonstrate, because that's how the universe works. It works on our feelings. When we put color and imagination and warmth and conviction, those are feelings, and that's how we move into the feeling of acceptance. And then that's what the universe operates on. And so we put color and imagination and warmth into it. When we start to feel, what does order feel like? What does order look like? What does joy sound like? What does joy look like? Just putting our senses into that. What does forgiveness look like? What does forgiveness sound like? How does forgiveness feel? What does compassion sound like? How does compassion feel? How does compassion play out in my life? How am I doing this right now? And so when we start to really look at how we're feeling and bringing the feeling component into it, then we start to really be in a place of demonstrating our heart's desire. We're really lifting up our cup of acceptance. Another way of saying that is walking in the direction of whatever it is we say we want. Walking in the direction of order, walking in the direction of joy, walking in the direction of peace, walking in the direction of light. Am I willing to be whatever it is I say that I want? Am I willing to be that quality? Am I willing to embody that quality? Am I willing to embody that quality? Because we can't experience it unless we embody it. And when we embody it, we develop the consciousness for it. If we don't have the consciousness for it, we can't experience it. We can't experience it. We must have the consciousness for that which we wish to experience. And so whatever it is, if your quality is gratitude, then the practice of gratitude is something that you have to be with all the time. What does gratitude look like? What does gratitude feel like? What does gratitude sound like? Am I exhibiting gratitude right now? Am I feeling gratitude right now? Am I holding up and lifting up my cup of gratitude right now? My cup of acceptance for gratitude right now? Am I doing that right now? And those are the questions that we ask as we move through each day, as we move through each moment, as we move through our lives. Then we have to do that as we put one foot in front of the other. This is how we reclaim. This is how we reclaim who we really are. This is how we reclaim. This is how we allow ourselves to be restored to our natural state of wholeness. Because when we are embodying the qualities of God, when we are embodying the spiritual qualities, then we're in our place of wholeness. We're in our natural state of wholeness. We're in that place where we can perceive wholeness. And that's what we want to do. We want to really be in that place of knowing and accepting, being a place of acceptance of wholeness. When we know what we know, when we know what wholeness feels like, when we know what oneness feels like, then that's when we are really walking the walk. That's when we are really in that place of simple acceptance. We're really in that place of knowing what we know. We're really in that place of 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 not only having clarified our belief, but daring to believe what we believe, daring to know what we believe, and then daring to believe what we believe, daring to believe that there can be wholeness in your life, daring to believe that there can be order if that's your quality, daring to believe there can be joy, daring to believe that you can experience gratitude, daring to believe that you can be in a place of forgiveness of always, daring to believe that you can be whatever your quality is, daring to believe, daring to believe. And so I'm inviting you today to be in that place of acceptance, be in that place of knowing what you know, taking a deep breath, and daring to be that, daring to be that. Whatever it is you want to experience, dare to be what you want to experience. Dare to be the light. Dare to be forgiveness. Dare to be peace. Dare to be love. Dare to be order. Dare to be whole. Dare to be whole. That's your charge. Dare to be whole. And it starts with one piece after another piece, after another piece, after another piece, after another piece. And that's how we experience wholeness, and that's how we accept it into our entire beingness. And so I invite you now just to turn within in this moment and just take a deep, deep breath and just breathing in, really think about what is it that you are accepting for yourself this year. Take a breath and just close your eyes and just think on that for a moment. What is it that you would like to experience? What quality would you like to embody throughout this year? Starting right now, what quality would you like to focus on this year, right here, starting right now? Breathe that in, whatever that quality is for you that you are embodying. No matter what has happened in the past, no matter what may happen in the future, just be present right now. What is it that you would like to experience right now? Moving forward, what is it that you would like to be right now? What must you become right now? And just breathe that in for a moment. Breathing in, what is it that you are accepting for yourself right now? And so just continue to breathe as we just move into this time of just knowing and sensing and feeling the presence of God right here, right now, right where we are. Knowing that this presence of God is wholeness. This presence of God is love. This presence of God is peace. This presence of God is harmony. This presence of God is forgiveness. This presence of God is compassion. This presence of God is all that there is. This presence of God is all that there is. It is everything. All the qualities is this presence of God. And so just knowing that this truth that God is all there is, I know that this allness that is God is my very life. I know that this allness that is God is the life of each of us. It is the source of each of us. It is that within each of us, within which each of us lives and moves and has our being. It is that which has its being in each one of us. I know that there can be no separation. I know there can be no separation between God and me. I know there can be no separation between anyone and God. For God is in the midst of everything. God is all that there is. And so just breathing into this knowing, I just speak this word for each of us this day. Just speaking a word of wholeness, knowing that contained within that wholeness is joy, is love, is peace, is harmony, is order, is balance, is acceptance, is forgiveness, is compassion, is gratitude, is all of the qualities. And that I speak the word for each of us to experience these qualities to the degree that we can open up more and more, releasing and letting go of anything that would block, releasing and letting go of anything that is unlike that quality of God that we're choosing right here and right now, that wholeness of God that already is. We let go of anything that would make us feel separate from God, anything that would make us feel separate from that quality. We let that go right here and right now by this word that's being spoken right here and right now. And we just open ourselves up to accept, to be available to the allness and the fullness of God in each and every quality to express in and through and as our individual lives right here and right now. And so this word is spoken for anyone needing a prayer this day, knowing that anyone needing a prayer this day, this word goes out on behalf of that person, whoever it may be, wherever they may be. For all those who are needing healing on any level, this word is spoken, knowing that the radiant healing presence of God is right where each person is, blessing and keeping them. For all those who are experiencing physical disorders, physical dis-ease, whether it be COVID or whatever else that may be a dis-ease, I know that God is in the midst of everything. I know that their body temples are filled with the radiant light, that radiant healing presence of God, that every organ, cell, tissue, function of their body is responding to that radiant presence of God. For those who have lost loved ones, I know that the great comforter that is God is right where each person is. As they walk through this time of grief and sorrow and sadness and apparent loss, God is in the midst. God is in the midst, for they do not walk alone. For anyone experiencing loss of any kind, for anyone experiencing any appearance of lack and limitation, I know that the abundance that is God, I know that the prosperity, the allness and the fullness of God and God's bounty is right where each person is right now. For I know that God is the substance and the supply. And that allness that is God is in the midst of everything that's going on. Despite appearances, God is in the midst. This is a truth that I know. And I know that healing is taking place on every level of every being and every situation and every circumstance. And so I just pause now momentarily so that if you may speak the names of anyone you'd like held in prayer, but you may speak their names silently or aloud, but you may speak them now. And so for all those whose names were spoken here this day, I know that God is right where each person is. God is in the midst of everything that's going on. God is. That's all we ever need to know is that God is. That God is. And so just knowing this truth, I can release this word knowing that it is already done, for God is. For God is. For God is. For this, I give great, great, great thanks. I give great, great, great thanks. I give thanks for the perfect manifestation of the word that's been spoken here this day. I give great, great thanks for the acceptance of the manifestation of this word here this day. All is well, for all indeed is God. Thank you, God. And so it is.